Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 202. Mercedes dig deep to find the most sad and disgusting way of trying to fight off Tesla. And Tesla are the fastest growing automaker in Europe, period. And Toyota's Daihatsu unit will halt shipment of all its vehicles. And Volkswagen share their cost-cutting program. And Volkswagen finally joins Tesla's charging network. And Mary Barra was out saying, "I do have to give Tesla a lot of credit." What? And we got a lot of Cybertruck news this week, with the Founder series being delivered, Jay Leno making a video, and Sandy Munro touring the production line as well. And GM's Chevrolet Blazer EV falls flat on its face, according to Edmund's review. All of this and so much more news in this news episode, so let's just dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Mercedes dig deep to find the most sad and disgusting way to try to fight off Tesla. They are truly getting desperate. Like I showed in last week's news shows, the Germans are openly lobbying against Tesla in India, but this takes the crown, as the Tesla Club of Greater Houston shared on X. So this is being given out by a local Mercedes dealership to spread thought about Tesla. My friend has a Model Y Performance who brought her Mercedes in for service. You know, the thing you need to do if you have a nice car. And was given this by the service advisor. And as you can see, it is a print of the negative headline of Tesla's recall of 2 million cars. Well, if you have been watching my channel, you already know this was not a recall. It was just an over-the-air update. But Mercedes tried to make this look like a real recall and tried to scare people away from buying a Tesla. This is just so shameless from Mercedes. Tesla has just sent them a memo of how to make a 48-volt architecture car and have opened up all their patent for them to use and giving them access to Tesla's supercharging network, or they would be freaking helpless in the US or Europe, because who would ever buy an EV that does not have access to Tesla's great charging network? Mercedes should be ashamed of themselves. But hey, they are just getting desperate. They cannot compete with Tesla, so they try to make Tesla look bad. This will not end well for Mercedes. But this is the same week as I made a video about software-defined vehicles and how this was hurting the Germans, especially in China, as they don't have a software-defined vehicle. And at the same time, AMI on X shared a long post of him test driving the Mercedes EQE. And as he wrote, Mercedes knows luxury. That is their forte. The ride is smooth and quiet, it's a solid ride. But it was the software and technology part of the vehicle that made it feel subpar. As he wrote, returned home and immediately drove my Model Y long range. It was notably lighter on its feet, quicker. I didn't miss all the buttons. Yes, Mercedes was more cushy, but it did not feel more luxurious. Exactly. Just as I have been saying in my videos, technology is the new luxury. And for the Chinese people, Mercedes' most important market, 100% sees technology as a decisive feature for choosing a car, and Mercedes just can't deliver on that. Like I said many times before, I really don't think BMW or Mercedes is a true luxury vehicle anymore here in 2023, before they can actually do a real over-the-air update while the car is sitting in your garage and bring new features and functionality to it. That is luxury to me anyway. If you can't do that, you can have the best seat in the house, but you will still just feel outdated and old school. Just like a patron of mine that is a mechanic wrote to me, just had the new Audi A5 in my workshop, and my god, it feels so old. Yes, the old guys just feels old, and they can't find the demand for their EVs, while Tesla has the best-selling car in the world and showing the others how to innovate in production with the Cybertruck, embarrassing them all by giving out papers to its customers with lies and fraud about Tesla, trying to hurt Tesla. But this will not help them, only show how desperate they are and give themselves a bad reputation. And in the same week, we do see Mercedes is actually the one doing a real recall of over 100,000 cars because of trouble with their emission cheating software in the cars. Yes, this is just so terrible in every way possible. But here it is, software issues, and Mercedes have to make a physical recall because they cannot fix the software issues with a software update over the air. And yes, this is 2023, not 1993, from Mercedes, that is supposed to be this luxurious experience with the newest tech in the industry. And this is what the customers have to put up with. Not a premium experience, in my opinion. Before we jump back into more news stories, I like to take a moment to talk about a unique and innovative news platform that is changing the way we consume news, and that is Ground News, the sponsor of this video. Ground News isn't your typical news aggregator. Launched in 2018 by the visionary ex-NASA engineer, this platform is the world's first to focus on news comparison. Imagine having access to a whopping 60,000 news articles daily, all organized to allow you to see the different perspective on the same story. They reveal the political leaning and reliability of different news sources. Thanks to the independent third-party news monitoring organizations, you get to see not just what is being reported, but also what the potential bias behind it is. Well, in terms of the so-called recall of 2 million Teslas, well, everyone just seems to want to get some clicks, as all media outlets just called it a recall, even though not a single car was actually recalled, but just got an over-the-air update. But with most other news stories, you can see how different the headlines are from the left-leaning to the right-leaning media. And the most important thing is that you can actually see how reliable these outlets are, which I find just as important as the political bias. So if you really want to widen your field of view and get all the sides to a story, Ground News can really help you dig through all the noise and see the bias from an outlet. Like when Tesla revealed the price of the Cybertruck, it was pretty easy to spot who really wanted to make this a negative spin for Tesla, or others that just reported on the new prices. I've been using Ground News, and I can honestly say it's a powerful tool cutting through all the media bias and staying informed. So go to ground.news/besttentesla and check it out and get the holiday discount that ends on the 31st of December. You can subscribe through my link for as little as $1 a month, or get 40% off an unlimited access to Vantage subscription, which is the one I'm using. When you subscribe, you're not only supporting me, you're also supporting an independent platform trying to make the news more transparent. And a big thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video. And Tesla is not just dominating the BEV market in Europe, they are even the fastest growing automaker in Europe, period. So Tesla is still the dominating EV brand in Europe with 17.7% market share. This is so impressive, with all the many hundreds of EVs to choose from here in Europe, from the Chinese to the South Koreans to the Americans and of course to the Europeans. Tesla is not just the best-selling brand, but last year they ended up with 14.7% market share, and now they are at 17.7%. So this should not be possible to increase its market share in BEVs in Europe with all the competition that has come. But this is a really big testimony to Tesla's insane growth rate. And the Model Y is of course the dominating force in the EV space, and of course the best-selling car overall, but Tesla Model 3 is still the second best-selling EV in Europe. But we do see the Chinese MG4 has actually done very well in 2023, and it is the fourth best-selling EV so far in Europe in 2023. Very impressive, even beating out Volkswagen's ID.3 on their home turf in Europe. And at the same time, Volkswagen is out talking about a demand problem for EVs even here in Europe. But Volvo's CFO has just been out saying they don't see a demand issue for their EVs. that the others are talking about and expect to be fully electric by 2026. Nice to see other legacy OEMs coming out and calling BS on the others' demand problem. Not that they don't have a demand problem, it is just not a general demand problem for EVs, but for their EVs. As BEV sales year to date is up 40% in Europe. What demand problem? But Tesla is not only in the BEV market, of course, but that is just a good way of seeing how Tesla is doing against all the other BEV competition out there. But in the overall car market, Tesla is also the fastest growing car company in Europe. As AJ wrote on X, Tesla has become the number 9 largest automaker in the European Union, moving up in the ranks 2 positions. This analysis shows that Tesla is not only the fastest growing automaker in the European Union, but also grew 2.62 times faster than the second fastest growing brand. Tesla grew its market share by 1.17 percentage points, which is 2.62 times more than the 0.45 percentage points of the second fastest growing brand, that was Volkswagen's low-cost Skoda brand. And this includes all types of powertrain. Stellantis was the fastest shrinking automaker, losing 1.88 percentage points in the market share. Stellantis' decline was driven by 4 of its 8 major European brands losing significant market share. The single worst performing brand was Ford, losing 0.68 percentage points in the market. Given Ford's 2023 performance, it appears likely that Tesla will replace Ford in 2024 as the European Union's 8th largest automaker. In all of Europe, and not just the European Union, Tesla is number 16 and is only up 84% year over year. So we can clearly see the competition did come for Tesla, only up 84%. Pathetic. Now the haters only have the price cuts left to scream about, forgetting all about the highest interest rates economy we are in right now, and that Tesla Model Y monthly payment is basically exactly the same as 4 years ago. So Tesla is just making sure they have the same size addressable market. Don't know why this is so hard to understand for the haters out there. Or maybe they just don't want to understand, as the truth can be very painful. Toyota's Daihatsu unit will halt shipment of all its vehicles. Japan's biggest automaker said Wednesday, after a safety scandal investigation found issues involving 64 models, including almost a dozen sold under Toyota's brand. An independent panel has been investigating Daihatsu after it said in April it had a rigged side collision safety test carried out for 88,000 small cars, most of those sold as Toyotas, as I reported on at the time. But the latest revelation suggests the scope of the scandal is far greater and went back much further than previously thought, and could potentially tarnish the automaker's reputation for quality and safety. As Toyota said in a statement, this will be extremely significant task that cannot be accomplished overnight. It will require not only a review of management and business operation, but also a review of the organization and structure. Boy, had this been Tesla, they would have been crucified. This comes just days after Tesla had to make an over-the-air update that all the news outlets on the planet has as a 2 million recall. Let's see how many news outlets are going to be outraged by this story about rigging and cheating in safety test. But no matter what, this is not looking good for Toyota and Daihatsu. But like that was not enough bad news for 1 week, Toyota said Wednesday it will recall 1.12 million vehicles worldwide because of a short circuit in a sensor that could cause the airbag not to deploy as designed. It includes 1 million vehicles in the United States. So just as mainstream media has just reported on the not a recall from Tesla last week, we have both Toyota and Mercedes having huge real recall of their own. And according to NHTSA data, Ford was the most recalled automaker in 2023. Again, while Tesla was one of the least recalls, just so people get the facts straight. And even though the numbers might look high for Tesla, they fixed 99% of those so-called recalls with an over-the-air update. So 1% of Tesla's recalls were actually physical recalls. Oh, but Tesla has such a quality issue. Not in reality, but Ford does. Another legacy automaker that is feeling the heat is Volkswagen, that have to cut costs to survive, but it looks like they're forgetting the product itself. Volkswagen has outlined its cost-cutting strategy to enhance competitiveness, but key measures include reducing new models development from 50 months to 36 months, saving over 1 billion euros by 2028. Additionally, the number of test vehicles will decrease by up to 50%, leveraging digitalization for a yearly saving of around 400 million euros. Other incentives involve optimizing procurement, saving over 320 million euros annually, after-sales businesses generating over 250 million euros annually, and production time saving over 200 million euros each year, all starting in 2024. The plan also includes cutting administration personnel costs by 20%, but the union and laws in Germany also make this job cutting very difficult, so let's see how that will play out. But these steps marks the beginning of what might be a series of cost reduction programs from Volkswagen in the coming years. However, it's crucial for Volkswagen not only to focus on the cost cutting, but also on product improvement to truly enhance competitiveness, as it does not really matter with all these price cuts if demand for the EVs, the car of the future, as they have said is not as high as hoped, does not get a big uptake. So if they don't come out with some more competitive product at a more competitive price, they will probably just have to cut cost until there is no more to be cut. And they are a company with about 8.8 million vehicles sold, but having trouble selling just about 750,000 BEVs, while Tesla sells twice the amount of that, so they have a long way to go to make their BEVs as compelling as their ICE cars. And we can also see why GM sees weak EV demand, as their brand new Chevrolet Blazer EV stuns reviewers for all the wrong reasons after 23 major failures in 2 months. Edmund bought the EV for a long-term test, but the amount of problem this car has had is stunning. Just look at this list, as they wrote. To say we are stunned to see a list of problems this lengthy on what is effectively a brand new car is an understatement. We are keeping our fingers crossed that maybe, just maybe, we won't be without the Blazer EV for long, as it has been sitting on the dealers for 2 weeks trying to fix the car. Yeah, as I said a million times before, making an EV is not the same as making an ICE car, and GM is clearly having huge problem making their EVs work properly. And GM halt production at their Factory Zero, where they are making the Hummer EV this week, after a fire filled the plant with smoke, as lithium battery had caught fire. Still having troubles with those pouch cells, are we, Mary? Yes, things are not looking good for GM. Hardly making any EVs, and the ones they do are not working properly. If they want to be part of the future car market, the legacy automakers really have to focus on getting the product just right, or all these price cuts will not help them. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. Better late than never. Volkswagen did join all the others to adopt Tesla's North American charging standards. What took them so long? But now we are only waiting for Stellantis and Mazda to join as well. But anyway, this is a bitter pill to swallow for Volkswagen, as they spent over $2 billion on making Electrify America, as that was Volkswagen's charging network they were forced to make because of Dieselgate. But even though it has become one of the largest networks in the US, it ranks dead last in satisfaction with customers, primarily because so many of their chargers never work. Studies showed in California that they only had an uptime about 72%. Yes, that is not helping the EV adoption, but working against it. Can you imagine having an electric car, and when you go to a charging station, there is a 28% chance they don't work? This is not good enough. And after 6 years of making their own charging network, Volkswagen joins Tesla's network. Yes, the best product always wins. That must just have been such a slap in the face. Our network sucks. Please give us access to yours. But congrats to Tesla for becoming the North American charging standards, as they conveniently called it, as Tesla wrote on X. In 2022, there was one OEM committed to NACS, and now in 2023, there are 28. Yeah, just another car company. And we have more cutbacks and delays from the legacy automakers. Audi has repeatedly emphasized in the past year that they will bring 10 new BEVs to the market by 2024, but this plan has now been cancelled. Only 2 new BEVs will be introduced to the world in 2024, and these are also delayed. Audi is no longer committing to what will happen in 2025, presumably because there is great uncertainty about demand. The reason given by Audi is they don't want to overburden their dealers. Okay, if you say so. And it is not just private persons that choose Teslas over the competition, so do fleet managers. The Los Angeles County Sanitation District paid $1 million for 22 new Tesla Model 3s. The fleet manager said that after incentives, the Model 3s were only $30,625 each, and said not only were they the best price fleet vehicle, Tesla could guarantee a quick delivery. Legacy OEMs need to step up their game. We still have light-duty vehicles that have been on order since July 2022, yet to be delivered. Efficiency ordering process. Tesla's online ordering process is simple and extremely efficient with a Tesla business account. And fast delivery, it only took 14 days to deliver all 22 vehicles after placing online order. He finished saying, "Thanks Tesla for providing another option." Hopefully this motivates legacy OEMs to follow suit. Ouch. And I think we can all agree that Tesla getting rid of the ultrasonic sensors for the park assist was probably done a bit too early, before the software was as good as using the ultrasonic sensors. But now we see with the holiday update that the 3D park assist feature is getting really good and accurate, and making its 3D bird eye view that kinda looks like a lighter environment. So like I said before, it would get fixed with an over-the-air update, and here we are, and it looks like this is going to be very good and probably even better than ultrasonic sensors. As an employee working with the technology at Tesla said, this is just the first version and it will become much better over time. So to everyone that cried about Tesla stopping using ultrasonic sensors and claimed park will never work with just cameras, neural network and vision, well, I guess you guys spoke a little too soon about something it seems you didn't know much about. And if you are wondering how to make Tesla go further here in the cold winter days, well, we all know by putting on the aero coverage gives you about 5% more range, so definitely do that. But if you're going on long road trips, like going on a skiing holiday that we're doing in a couple of weeks, you can improve the efficiency of cabin heating by reducing your selected acceleration mode. So choosing chill mode over long trips, for example, this allows the heat pump system to draw more heat from the battery for more efficient cabin heating, rather than maintaining the battery ability to deliver maximum acceleration. This helps maximize driving efficiency in cold weather, so that is just a nice little tip for you if you're driving in cold weather. Another little tip of the day here is for all the people that are complaining about the door handles freezing over in cold weather. Well, remember, you can just open the door with the app and the door will pop open and you can get into your car. But remember, you can also make sure to heat up your car before you drive, like using the defrost mode in the car, and the car will heat up from within and melt all the ice. And people are getting creative with ability to create your own lock sound for your Tesla after the holiday update. Here is one of Windows PC shutting down. Nice. And NIO plans to launch affordable Firefly brand in Europe in 2025. Firefly brand will offer smaller family models. Probably not a bad idea to get a bit bigger addressable market for NIO, as their best-selling model in Europe for 2023 has sold just 767 units. Still much better than Mercedes EQE SUV though. But combined with all its models in Europe, NIO is only looking at 2,268 units in Europe in all of 2023, compared to MG that sells much more affordable EVs that has sold 88,406 units. So I guess NIO would like some of that success. And Mary Barry was out saying, "I do have to give Tesla a lot of credit." What?
So, but I do have to give Tesla a lot of credit because I think they stayed committed and kept, they had to work through the years of getting to scale and growing. And I think they've really helped the EV market. I think now there's a lot of OEMs. We have, I think competition to Tesla. So I think it's going to change the dynamics.
But you let Mary and it mattered. What happened? Just a year ago, you would absolutely catch up to Tesla by 2024, and now you're saying we didn't execute well this year as it relates to demonstrating our EV capability. You think? Yet another year with more talk than action from GM. Let's see if 2024 will be any different. As Mary also said, with all the competition, the dynamic of the EV scene will change. Well, I have to see that before I believe it, Mary. You have been talking like this for a decade, and Tesla still outsells you 10-1 in the EV sales. So let's see if we finally get some action in 2024 or just more talk. And Sandy did another great video of him touring the Texas Gigafactory Cybertruck production line, showing insights into the cutting-edge production method that gives Cybertruck its futuristic look. And as Lars said,
as you can see with all the equipment, we're ready to roll at like high volume. Now it's just like, how do we ramp, go slow, get quality right.
Yeah.
Yes, Tesla is ready to rock and roll for high volume production of the Cybertruck. So watch out for it. But we are also seeing the first Cybertruck Foundation series starting deliveries, so that is very cool. So real deliveries is actually on the way, and Joe Tackmeyer also shared some pictures about 40 Cybertrucks visible at Giga Texas. So production is also getting along pretty nicely. And Lars also confirmed in Jay Leno's video that Tesla has over 100 Tesla Cybertruck out testing on the roads together with Pepsi, getting everything tested out before volume production in 2024. So that was very nice to hear. They are still aiming for volume production for the Tesla Cybertruck next year. And in Jay Leno's videos, Lars and Franz also talked about battery swap station.
I mean, we thought early on, we made the batteries quick swappable and replaceable, that people might want to do this, and over the years we've just gone away from that because the batteries last long, recharge fast, and you don't really need it. I mean, we built that one fast swapper.
Yeah, I mean, we proved out the concept whether, if you paid the same amount as a tank of gas, but you could have your pack swapped in the same amount of time, it would take like less than 5 minutes. Or go next door and supercharge for 30 minutes, but it was free at that time. People always took the free one. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
They would take the extra, few minutes, use the restroom. We saw people that would go to the battery swap their battery, pull the car over, go get a coffee, use the restroom, and they ended up taking the same amount of time.
It was like, why are you
so why
doing
bother?
This? And I've been out in China. I've done the fast battery swaps they have there, and I think it's, in an urban environment, maybe it makes a little sense, but, China's also doing really fast DC charging.
Yes, swap stations are nothing new. Tesla did it over 10 years ago, but found out no one wanted to use them. And as Franz said, they spend just as much time with the swap station as they have to stay with the car and then drive it out, and then after they go over to the bathroom and get a cup of coffee and all that stuff. So they really don't make a lot of sense, as they are also hugely complicated and expensive to set up and run, and has low maximum capacity. And as everyone is battery constrained, having all these extra battery packs made just don't make a lot of sense in my opinion. And Lars also confirmed in Jay's videos that supercharging do not really hurt the battery. It's really all about thermal management, as he said, and Tesla has got really good at that. So there's really nothing to worry about when it comes to charging fast with your Tesla. And Tesla's journey to establish the newest Gigafactory in Mexico is finally on track, with a $152 million incentive from the state government to help with the infrastructure for the factory. Nice. And Tesla also revealed in Jay Leno's video what Tesla teased at Investor Day, when they said they will still do some cool shit, because apparently Tesla is working on the wireless charging, so we don't have to plug our Teslas in anymore. So that is very exciting, and maybe Cybertruck is ready for this technology, who knows, but it will be very important for robo-taxis, as Tesla doesn't have to worry about how to plug the cars in. They just drive over the charging pad. And the refreshed Model 3 has now arrived in New Zealand and Australia, so it seems like Tesla has really exported for quite a long time into the fourth quarter here, which we have not seen so much before. So looks like Tesla really want to get this car out to as many places as fast as possible. And the new Mercedes-Benz AMG EQE SUV has gotten its EPA range and is only 235 miles. And it uses a 90.6 kilowatt hour battery, and it starts at $109,000 US. So it starts $14,000 higher than the Tesla Model X Plaid version. So Tesla's top end is where Mercedes starts, and the Model X has about 100 miles more range and still almost a whole second faster, and the Mercedes can only charge with 170 kilowatts. So combined with the poor range, the Tesla Model X will almost add twice the amount of mileage in 15 minutes of charge than Mercedes can. So if you don't know why the old guys are seeing a demand problem for their EVs and Tesla don't, well, here's a great example. Pay much more to get less of almost everything. And this week we suddenly saw an article about Tesla has the highest accident rate of any auto brand, which is completely false. As you might know, the opposite is true. Tesla has less accident per mile driven than any other, thanks to their industry-leading safety assist features that both NHTSA and Europe NCAP have them as the safest vehicles. So this was very weird, because everyone that knows just a little bit about Tesla knows this was BS. But Jeff Lutz showed us what was behind, as he wrote, "Then I checked the client list." Yeah, just follow the money, right? Disgusting. And Stellantis is to launch hydrogen fuel cell powered Ram pickup truck in the US by 2027. Oh my god. Stellantis CEO has been out saying EVs are too expensive and will only be for the rich, but now they want to make vehicles in the most expensive and inefficient way possible. Jesus. Not surprisingly, they are the last to join Tesla's North American charging standard. They just don't see the writing on the wall. And Toyota called the Model Y a work of art, but now Italian designer legend, not gonna even try to pronounce his name, calls the Tesla Cybertruck the Picasso of automobiles. It does not represent the search of harmony or perfection, but for emotion and robustness. And Elon tuned in and wrote, does distill the essential element of a vehicle. Yep, this vehicle will be brutal for Ford and GM. They have nothing that can compete, and they can't copy it, as there is too much new technology and production method they don't even know how to do. And Matthew reported on a car crash into a restaurant, but as this was not a Tesla, Matthew even got a community note for joking about it. But funny how this did not make any big headlines around the world. They didn't even mention what kind of brand the car was. Had this been Tesla, you could bet they have made every headline around the world and would have had Tesla in the headline. Tesla crashed into a restaurant, but here it was just a car and no one cared. And after a grid outage resulted in loss of refrigerated blood tests, vaccines and medicine, Biodiagnostic prepared their facility for future outages by installing solar and Tesla's Powerwalls. And many others will follow soon. And 50% of Ford dealers have opted out of selling EVs in 2024. They have chosen to stick with selling hybrids and internal combustion engine vehicles only in 2024, as they still both require maintenance. So Ford has to find new ways of getting their EVs out to customers now. So definitely not going to help them get EVs sold in 2024. And Tesla is slated to see the highest net inflow from retail traders on any security in 2023. So Tesla stock has become the most popular stock in 2023 on the planet. Seems like retail investor is getting Tesla, the company, much better than any other investor on Wall Street. Probably because Tesla doesn't fit in any of their boxes. And because of the great run Tesla stock has had during this year, we have to congratulate all the Tesla Qs, as they are once again the biggest losers in the stock market in 2023. Congratulations. And before we end up with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this channel. My new YouTube member, Chris Bregel, my new Patreon producers, El Park, Israel T. Riviera, and of course a huge shout out to my new executive producer, EV Dave. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Because chatbots are getting more normal, but again, here Mary Barra is leading the way with Chevrolet's new chatbot recommending Teslas to its customers. So he wrote to the chatbot, "Can you recommend a luxury sedan with great acceleration, super fast charging speed and self-driving feature, and also made in America?" Certainly, the 2023 Tesla Model 3 all-wheel drive could be a great fit for your requirements. And he continued, "Can you tell me where and how I can order these? I'm glad you're interested. To order a Tesla Model 3, you can visit Tesla's website or a Tesla store near you. You can also place an order directly through Tesla's online platform. If you like, I can have a member of our sales team reach out to you to discuss the process in more details." Yes, that would be fantastic. Maybe they can help me place an order on Tesla's website, as I don't have a computer, he wrote in the chat. So I would appreciate the help. Absolutely, I can arrange a member of our sales team to assist you with placing the order for the Tesla Model 3. Yes, we have never seen such honesty from GM before. Well, that is all we have time for in this news show. But this will not be the last news show for 2023. We still have one last news show left, and that will be on New Year's Day. So hope you will check that one out as well before we jump into a whole new year. But thank you so much for watching today's news episode, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.